Have you ever felt like your mind is a relentless storm? Constantly churning with thoughts about the past, worries about the future, and anxieties about what others think? If so, you're not alone. This is the story of a young man named Arjun, whose journey to inner peace might just change the way you see your own thoughts. Arjun was a young man with a sharp mind but a restless heart. He was always thinking. His mind was a battlefield where past regrets clashed with future fears. When he walked to work, he replayed every mistake he made the day before. At his desk, he'd imagine every possible thing that could go wrong tomorrow. Even in the quietest moments, his thoughts were a deafening roar. The constant mental noise left him feeling exhausted, drained of energy even when he was doing nothing at all. He felt trapped inside his own head, a prisoner to the endless chatter. One day, overwhelmed and desperate for a solution, Arjun decided to seek the wisdom of an old teacher who lived in his village. He found the master sitting peacefully under a large banyan tree. "Master," Arjun began, his voice trembling slightly, "my thoughts never stop. They are relentless. I feel tired all the time, even when I do nothing. How can I find peace? How can I silence this storm inside me?" The old teacher listened patiently, his eyes filled with a gentle understanding. Without a word, he gestured for Arjun to sit. He then took out a small teapot and a cup. As he began to pour the hot tea, the cup filled quickly. But the teacher didn't stop. He just kept pouring. The steaming liquid spilled over the sides, cascading onto the saucer and then onto Arjun's hand. "Stop!" Arjun shouted, pulling his hand back in pain. "It's overflowing, can't you see?" The teacher finally stopped pouring and looked at him calmly, a gentle smile gracing his lips. "Exactly," he said, his voice soft yet profound. "You are like this cup, Arjun. You are so full of thoughts, so overflowing with worries and anxieties that there is no room for anything new to enter. There is no space for peace. To find peace, you must first empty your mind." Arjun frowned, confused. The master's words were simple, but the task felt impossible. "But how can I do that?" he asked. "My thoughts come without asking. They just appear, and they are so loud." The teacher's smile widened. "You cannot stop the wind from blowing, my son," he replied. "But you can learn how to build a shelter. You can learn to sail with it instead of fighting against it." That very night, inspired by the teacher's words, Arjun began a small, simple practice. He sat in a quiet corner of his room. As soon as a thought entered his mind, a worry about work, a memory of an old argument, he didn't push it away. He didn't fight it. Instead, he gently acknowledged it and whispered to himself, "This is just a thought. It is not the truth. It is not me." He learned to observe his thoughts without judgment, watching them come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. Some were dark and stormy, others were light and fleeting. But he just watched. He was no longer a participant in the chaos. He was becoming the calm observer. At first, it was incredibly difficult. His mind, so used to being in control, fought back. It screamed for his attention, throwing bigger and more frightening thoughts his way. The urge to get lost in them, to believe them, was immense. But Arjun remembered the overflowing cup and remained patient. He returned to his practice, night after night. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, something began to shift. The raging storms in his mind began to quiet down. The constant noise started to fade into a gentle hum. He discovered a powerful anchor: his breath. When his mind started to race, he would focus on the simple sensation of breathing in and breathing out. With each conscious breath, the noise would fade a little more. He also started practicing gratitude. At the end of each day, he would list 3 things he was thankful for. He noticed that when he focused on gratitude, fear and anxiety lost their power. They couldn't survive in a heart filled with thankfulness. Weeks turned into months, and the people around Arjun began to notice a profound change in him. The frantic energy was gone, replaced by a quiet confidence. His words became softer, more thoughtful. His actions became wiser, more deliberate. He no longer reacted impulsively to every challenge that came his way. Instead, he responded with a sense of calm and clarity. His newfound peace was contagious. It made others feel safe and at ease around him. His silence was no longer a sign of anxiety, but a symbol of his inner strength. One day, Arjun met the old teacher again on the village path. He bowed respectfully. "Master," he said, his voice clear and steady, "I no longer feel controlled by my thoughts. I don't feel like a prisoner anymore. I feel light, like the wind itself." The wise teacher smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Then you have learned the greatest art of all," he said. "You have learned not how to silence your mind, but how to guide it. You have understood that it is a powerful tool, meant to serve you." Arjun bowed deeply, his heart filled with gratitude. From that day forward, he lived with a new level of awareness. Whenever life grew chaotic, whenever the storms threatened to return, he would simply close his eyes, take a deep breath, and remember the simple truth he had learned. The mind is a wonderful servant but a terrible master. You control it. It doesn't control you. This story holds a powerful lesson for all of us. Your thoughts are just thoughts. They are not facts. You have the power to choose which ones you listen to and which ones you let drift away like clouds in the sky. If this story touched your heart and gave you a new perspective, please consider subscribing to our channel, Stories by Heart. We share motivational stories like this one every day to help you grow wiser, stay inspired, and find peace in your daily life. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.